Hey, yo, everybody. Welcome to the Amalgam Games Lab. I'm your host, Shannon Haegler, alongside Keena Johnston.
My head hurts.
Yeah, he's got a headache, so we're going to try and... We'll power.
2 headaches. My headache plus Centrelink.
We'll power through this episode as best we can.
Yeah.
This is a show where we talk gaming and the gaming industry at large. We will be chatting a few substantial topics this time around.
Yeah.
But before that, the housekeeping. There is no Amalgam show this week. When's this one going up? Are you going to put it up next week or this week?
I'll put it up this week. I'll probably
Okay,
have
this
it
week.
tomorrow upload.
Cool. So no Amalgam show this week, but check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/Amalgam show, where you can listen to Amalgam Archaeology. Still need to do another one of those.
I'm happy to do it today if you will. If you've got time.
We'll see. We'll
see.
We'll see. Might have to wait till next week or next time we can film because, but we need to get another one. Yep. And if you have any questions, please comment below or email us at amalgamshow@gmail.com. Remember to leave the like, hit the subscribe button, and the share. Woohoo!
That share button.
The share button. Valuable
But also
share button.
the share button.
Share and options. God, why did they change it?
I was going for Cher the singer.
Yeah. Okay, yep.
If I could turn back time and make that joke better.
Damn it. All right, let's get into some stuff from this week.
Stuff has happened.
Stuff has happened.
Especially yesterday. A lot of stuff happened yesterday, just in pop culture and
General. Yeah. Before we get too stuck in, R.I.P. Stan Lee.
Yes.
That sucks.
It does suck, but I've been expecting it for ages. Since I've been expecting Captain America's death in the movies. So. Which is unfortunate because one's fictional, one's real, but like I've been prepared. And I usually don't cry when like celebrities die, but this time I like was looking at like I woke up and like it was like a Google News thing. So I'm like, okay, that sucks.
Good.
It's Stan Lee. I'm like, I bet he's dead.
Yeah.
And I got into it, I'm like, oh, that sucks. It's 95. And then I was like going through GIFs and stuff, and it's just like Excelsior, and like I could hear that GIF in his voice.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Like, oh
yes.
shit! And I welled up. I'm like, oh, we're not going to hear that.
His 95. He had a good swing at it though. Like that's.
It kind of sucks that like his latter years are a little bit like fuck. Like he got accused for sexual assault at the nursing home, but then that was actually because he was actually getting elder abuse towards him. Yeah. And then his children started like, I guess, how we get as much money from him as possible, sort of stuff. So all this stupid family stuff started happening. But
yeah. And it was one of the things that I was talking to Vanessa about was like, I think if I'm right here, because I don't know about Captain Marvel, but the next Avengers movie is in the can.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be his last cameo.
I think so. Spider-Man is, I want to say it's wrapped, but I don't know how cameos go with that.
Yeah. Like for me, if I was in charge of that, I would put the Avengers as his last cameo. Yeah. That would be such a fitting, perfect...
Yeah. If this was like the third Spider-Man movie, yes, because Spider-Man...
is his. Yeah, that's his. That's...
Like,
oh, man, yeah, maybe
they're all his, but like Spider-Man and Fantastic Four are what made Marvel a comic powerhouse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand Avengers because that's the end of Phase 3. It's the end of this chapter.
This huge thing that we've all been on together for 10 years, and 11 come the release of the final Avengers movie, and it's the moment that we've all been looking at and being like, it's like the culmination of Stan Lee's legacy. Are these that finally his creations were able to make it onto the silver screen in a way that is befitting of them instead of just being crappy adaptations. They were finally able to breach that, and he was able to do that thing that he's always wanted, which is give geeks and nerds the ability to stand up and be proud as opposed to being hidden in the shadows. Yeah. And so it's like this wonderful thing. I think it'd be great if the Avengers cameo was the last one. Yeah. I've got some cynical friends who are like, they'll just CG him into everything, and I'm like, please don't do that.
They did say that they recorded a bunch. I don't know where that goes up to, but if I was Kevin Feige, I would say, What
I think would be great would be for them to have his actual official cameo in the last Avengers movie, the next Avengers movie, the last one in this arc.
Yeah.
And then as the post-credit sequence, have like a small montage of what they weren't able to put out. And
Interesting.
And just have that as kind of like the send-off, rather than having... Because, he's been in a post-credit sequence before.
Since Spider-Man, but there was like a Hulk movie in the 70s that he was cameoed in.
Yeah.
Spider-Man or Blade? I don't think it was Blade, but yeah, since before the MCU started, like he's been in Fantastic Four movies, a couple of the X-Men movies.
Yeah, but I think it would be nice to, if they need to use that canned footage that they've got for future cameos, that if they've shot a few in advance, just put them out there. Like his cameos don't spoil anything.
No,
his cameos wouldn't do anything, but it would be nice to see them and just see them in like a short, like, in loving memory of type thing at the end, which I think would be really nice.
Someone floated the idea on Kind of Funny Games Daily of putting like a statue into the Spider-Man game of Stan Lee.
Oh.
Because the DLC is still going, so they could probably whip up
I'm sure Insomniac will do something.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will. 100%. Because that's the kind of company they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. They absolutely will do that.
Yeah.
And if they did, I would absolutely go and check that out.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. But shout outs to Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. And we'll move on to something a little bit different, similar vein. That Detective Pikachu trailer. Speaking of movies,
I'm actually kind of disappointed by it.
What? Okay.
Because I was expecting a PG-13 noir movie starring Detective Pikachu. So like, we got this hard-boiled thing. I was expecting that. We didn't get that, but I'm like,
no. But that would be so bad.
It would be
so bad.
I think it can be done. I don't think necessarily Hollywood is the place. I don't think this movie is. They've done that correctly for what they've done. If this was if we've had like 10 Pokemon movies, a proper noir Detective Pikachu. But not,
the movie you want is going to be made by a YouTuber. There's going to be a 30-minute YouTube video. That's what that is.
It's already a 30-second short. By, have you seen it?
I think so.
The Prod's voices?
Yes.
And I'm like, when I saw it, I'm like, that's what I expected when I saw this announcement.
Yeah.
And I love that video. I've seen it like 100 times already.
Yeah, that's great.
Who's that Pokemon? It's the murderer.
But I am fucking stoked for what this thing is.
Yeah.
Because it is Pokemon, it is goofy, it is weird, but it is slightly more mature, and I like the fact that they are leaning into it being a little bit dumb.
Yeah.
Like, just a little bit...
Yeah.
With the scene with the Mr. Mime and like stuff like that. Of just like, this is stupid because it's Pokemon, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's not the trope of... boy gets sent to Pokemon World. It's not the trope of Pokemon ends up in real world accidentally.
They really could have done.
They really would. Yeah, that's.
I'm happy they're just like, no, this is the Pokemon World.
Yeah, that is like children's game adaptation 101 is thing gets dropped into the real world, and then that's the conflict. And no, they've decided to go like, no, this is just a world that exists that has Pokemon in it, and then we are going to create a story that is a little bit more personal around that idea, and I really, really like it. I like the way the Pokemon look.
The designs are an interesting point of discussion because, like, so when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, okay, some of these designs are unnerving just because we're so used to the cartoon 2D look of them. Mm-hmm. These are realistic 3D renders, but then I've seen those posts, those like BuzzFeed articles of like, oh, what if these Pokemon looked realistic? Apparently, one of those articles is the designer of this thing, and we're all like, wow, well done for doing this like just realistic art. And actually, they're not that ultra realistic. Sometimes when a Venusaur looks like not Venusaur, like they're super dinosaur-y, and I get that's what they're supposed to be, but still, like
they look like the Pokemon they're supposed to be, while also looking like they should exist in that world, which is the good combination there. I do like the winks and nods that are in that, like in the way that it's presented. So one of the things that I was talking with a friend about was that like we've got our protagonist who
is Jaden Smith, not Jaden Smith,
Justice Smith. who, we'll learn more about. He's not really a surrogate for like an Ash or a Red or anything
I think,
like that.
he's his own character, which is good.
Yeah, he's just his own fully fledged character. But the other protagonist in that, I don't know her name yet, but she's a redhead with a Psyduck.
Okay.
Like it's not like they're not like throwing it in your face, but like it's a small wink and nod to the fan base of like, look, there's a Psyduck. There's a Psyduck with a red. Yeah. And that I like. If her name is actually Misty, then I might throw a fit, but they'll probably do something different, I hope.
I don't think they can like call her Misty because there's like, because this game has two different translations, like mainstream, they've got the Japanese and the English, and the names are all different. Like her Japanese name does not translate to Misty.
No.
Like, so when this movie goes to Japan, I don't think they would change the names of the characters.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I feel like they'll all be original character, but they'll be inspired by the
exactly.
characters.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's a little bit gruff, like Misty is in the shows, and that'll be good. Like it'll be fun to have that. Because this thing is not going to be like the television show. No. It's going to be totally different to that. So it'll be good to have that small point of like comfort of like, there's that thing that I remember from the television show that's in this movie.
I think that really specifically goes towards Pikachu. Like,
yes, and Pikachu as well. Yeah. But like, I think that there's also a subconscious element to that of like, we good recording? Yeah. Of like there's the elements that you see and go, I can remember, like I can see that's that thing. Then there's also the elements that you don't notice, but if they were taken away, then you would notice them, that kind of thing. And I think having a Misty surrogate is one of those things where if it wasn't there, this movie wouldn't feel like a Pokemon movie at all. It would just feel weird. But having someone who kind of, whether directly or indirectly, fills that role will help some viewers ease into the idea. I love the idea of this thing. I'm super psyched for it. I cannot wait for it. Like it's May next year, which I think is the same release window as Avengers.
It is, unless Avengers does a thing again where it gets delayed,
pushed forward. Which I hope they do, because I don't want this Pokemon movie to be overshadowed by the Avengers.
Yeah.
Which is my fear, because I will see both of these. I want to see both of them because I am intrigued.
It's definitely not coming out on the same weekend, so you're safe with that.
Yeah. Well, let's hope. I am intrigued by the sort of final closing shots of the trailer where the ground is rising up.
Okay, yeah.
I'm intrigued as to what that is, because my thought goes in like two different directions. One is that's like a really powerful psychic type Pokemon playing a mind trick on them, or they're going to broach a legendary in that moment. Yeah. Which I think would be fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Mewtwo is going to be in this movie.
Ooh.
Like, he's the legendary. Like, Mew, we might see Mew, and Mew might go, but whatever Mew does, but like, Mew, like the final CG battle will be with a Mewtwo. Because it's a Hollywood movie, we need to have a CG fight fest at the end.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And having a psychic Pokemon.
Absolutely, but I would, I don't know about that.
Or he's the post credit, which I'd be fucking hyped with that.
I'd be okay with that. Like if that was what it is, I'd be okay with that. Because the thing is, I almost want them to do this whole thing. It's weird though, because a lot of the people have been pulling apart the details in the background of this movie, and there's a lot of posters that show Reshiram and Zekrom battling, or
interesting, okay,
or tournament battles that were Rayquaza versus some other legend. It's there are a few legendary Pokemon that seem to be scattered throughout the trailer that make them feel less like legendary and more like just Pokemon that people use. But maybe there's only a couple of them and only these elite trainers have been able to catch them. Maybe something like that.
I know they did that in the anime. A trainer had Rayquaza. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And that's when I checked out, basically, like around that time. I'm like, I don't need this in my life.
And so maybe that's the way they go with it. But like, I would love for them to use like not Mewtwo, but another legendary in that moment. If like a Groudon bursts out of the ground or something like that, because I can't tell whether it's. I watched a YouTuber who was saying like it kind of looks like that Inception thing where the world is folding in on itself. But when I was looking at it, I can't tell if it's folding in on itself or if it's the ground rising up to like explode and show a thing. So if it was something like that, I would be super into that. And yeah, I mean, even if it is a Mewtwo, that's fine. But I would kind of prefer Mewtwo to be at the post credits if there is one, so that we could lead into. Because I hope this one does well. Because I'd like to see more. In this style, because it's just weird. It's just goofy. It's something that it's not traditional Nintendo. It's Nintendo taking a chance. Yeah. Like taking a risk with an IP that they have made millions on.
Yeah. And like they were burned by the Super Mario Brothers movie. And they were like, we're never going to hand our IP out again. And I think like they've slowly been doing it, like giving off their IPs to other people, like the Capcom with the Zelda games, like more recent stuff that I cannot remember for whatever reason. Oh, no, I lost it.
Well, there's that other DreamWorks Mario movie in production.
That's right.
Yeah, from the Minions team, which they're doing that. Which, like, if this goes well, then it gives me confidence in that one as well, because it'll probably just be an animated movie and it'll be fine.
Yeah. I kind of want... I kind of want that Mario to go to the team that's making Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That movie looks good, and I really like that art. I don't think that suits Mario at all, but that seems like it's going to be a good movie. Yeah, and we don't get many good Sony animated movies.
Yeah, that's true.
I should say we don't get many good Sony movies.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, no,
we get so many good Sony video games, and I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm really psyched for that Detective Pikachu movie. I'm really looking forward to seeing.
What do you think of Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu's voice?
I think it's okay. It's fine. It surprised me.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about it earlier. When the casting was announced, I was like, oh, I don't. But for the story they're going for, that at least that looks like they're going for in the trailer of like only this kid can hear him and no one else can. I feel like it's a perfect casting because his delivery is very much because like it's the opening shots there where you first see Pikachu and he has that thing of like, you can hear me? I've been so lonely. Like that delivery was perfect of just like, oh man, it's like heartbreaking but amazing. And then the little bit in the street where the girl is like, where he's like, can you hear him? He's like, yeah, and the Pika Pika. And he's like, she can't hear me. Like, she can't. Like, it's really good.
I was kind of surprised at how much Ryan Reynolds it was. Like, it's just Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, yeah.
But he's still performing. Like, it's not a phoning in project. Like, it's doing the voice.
Yes.
But also, there was something else I wanted to say. A lot of people, I've seen posts of like, it's weird that Pikachu just sounds like a 40-year-old man. I'm like, this is not Pikachu. This is a Pikachu that wears a hat.
This is Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, specifically, yes.
Now, I think what they're actually doing is they're aping it off of the Detective Pikachu game. There's part of the storyline they're aping off of that, and I believe the way that story starts is that Detective Pikachu has a partner in the police force, and they get into a car accident. And the partner disappears, and the Detective Pikachu is injured, and as a result of those injuries, cannot use his moves anymore.
Interesting.
So he can't use Thunderbolt or anything like that. And then in the Detective Pikachu game, the son of the partner goes to the city to try and find his father. Story goes on from there.
Yeah.
Seems to be an exact adaptation of that.
Yeah. Probably
Probably with a few creative like liberties taken, and obviously a complete change in tone.
Yeah.
Like, making it a little bit more dark. Because, like, you read that premise for the Detective Pikachu game and you're like, that's fucking fucked up, man.
For a 3DS game. Like.
And then you look at it and it's like just this happy-go-lucky thing.
Yeah.
But but they've taken the premise of the game and put it into what is a more suitable tone for it, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited for that movie. I really want to see it.
I've said it a couple times now, but I think it's going to be the best video game movie adaptation.
Based on that trailer, it already is the best video game
Yeah.
adaptation for a movie because it's just.
I wouldn't say video game adaptation because that's Castlevania. Video game movie specifically. Because Castlevania is really good.
We'll see. I need to watch the Castlevania thing, but I think this movie might be actually pretty fucking excellent.
Castlevania is pretty fucking excellent.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
it is.
The thing I would measure it on though is like, okay, Castlevania is great, but what's the audience for Castlevania?
Anime fans, Castlevania fans, which Castlevania fans is dwindling.
Yeah, whereas the Pokemon movie, the audience for that is every person on the fucking planet.
Yes.
It's literally because like it will hit the demographic. Like it's the thing I like about it is that it is a little bit more mature, so our age group is going to be like, ooh, interesting, Pokemon for my age group. And then obviously it's Pokemon, so it's not going to be blood and guards.
No.
So kids are going to want to see it, which means their parents are going to go along for the ride.
Yeah.
So it just hits every single point that you want, and I think it's excellent.
If this movie is good, like say this gets good reviews, do you think this is going to do $1 billion based on the audience?
$1 billion?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because like that's a...
No, because of the timing. Because even though it's not the same, even though it probably won't be the same weekend, if they still do opening weekend in the same month as Avengers Infinity, whatever, it will split. The market will want to go see Avengers first.
Yeah.
And then they will go see the Detective Pikachu movie second.
Yeah. A good point.
Yeah, the market will be split there.
Because I can't think of a time like what's the quickest turnaround for $1 billion. The only one I can think of is like Black Panther to Infinity War, which was February to April.
Let me put it this way: if they go out the same month, Detective Pikachu won't make $1 billion in cinemas.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm specifically referring to. Like
yeah, no, it won't. If they go in the same month, Detective Pikachu won't make it in cinemas, but it will. If it's good enough, word of mouth will get it on the Blu-ray sales, on the merch sales, on everything else, and it will make $1 billion overall.
Yeah.
If Avengers decides they want to push themselves forward again into April or back into June, then yes, I could see this movie making $1 billion purely off of the fact that it's a Pokemon movie.
Yeah. A live-action Pokemon movie that's not tied to the anime in any case.
Yes, it's a live action because it hits that right sweet spot of if you're a Pokemon fan who's been following the Pokemon for 20 plus years, you'll want to see it because it's Pokemon. Come on. Like you're one of those people.
Yeah.
But it also hits that right sweet spot of making people who watched the cartoon when they were 8 years old and haven't done anything since go, I gotta check this shit out.
Yeah.
Like that's the reaction that it's gonna get from a lot of people is I just gotta check this shit out. And so I think it'll hit enough of those people that'll because there's also a large section of the public who don't like the Marvel movies. They do exist, and if this taps onto their nostalgia a bit more, and they're able to actually be like hit onto their intrigue a bit more, you might get enough of those people to push it over. But I just think the timing with the new Avengers movie is just not going to be in their favor.
That's a good point.
But I think regardless of how much it does make, people will be surprised by how much it makes. I think people will be like, "Are you serious? That Pokemon movie made blah amount of money?" Like, yes.
I think it's going to make 750 million to 800 million, like in that like Guardians to Wonder Woman range. Like which is a lot of money, regardless.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which means we're going to get a sequel.
What I actually think would be more interesting to see is what their projection is. What do you think the target is on Nintendo? Because I get the feeling that this is a side project. That they're like,
like a spin-off sort of thing.
Yeah. Like they I get the feeling that if Nintendo was to make its money back, they'd be happy.
Yeah.
Not like, they don't need to make a 20% profit margin or whatever. They'd just be like, look, as long as we make the money back on this thing, we're fine.
I think Nintendo will be fine. I think whoever's distributing it, which I don't remember, they'll want their 20% profit. Like they've got their own.
Warner Brothers?
Yeah, really WB.
Warner Brothers and Legendary, I believe.
It is, yes, you're right. That's weird because they make Godzilla. Like that's
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. Speaking of Nintendo.
Yeah. Nintendo's hiring for Zelda?
Who'd have thunk? They need more people to make a new game.
Well, okay. Is it I
There's
didn't.
no detail. Like the listing is just for a new Zelda game, and like
Okay.
I've written, it could be the next. Like it could be the Breath of the Wild sequel. It could be a new 2D Zelda. It could be for the mobile game that's happening. Which I forgot. I didn't know. I think I just missed that report. So
Action games will work on designing terrain, dungeons. This feels more like the next Zelda game, like the next full-fledged Zelda game. I would hazard a guess that this would be probably the next Switch project.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like, we can still get a 2D Switch Zelda game. Like, that's a thing that will happen, like, the next Link Between Worlds sort of game, like, that's probably going to happen.
Yeah, I just don't know if they want to do that anymore.
I don't either. Like, 2D Zelda games have always been profitable, but they've always been, like, to the handhelds. But like...
based on Breath of the Wild, I don't know if you... in my mind, when you look at Breath of the Wild and what that did, not just for Zelda fans, but for the gaming community at large, like that game brought in people who had never played a Zelda game before because it was so fucking good. Yeah. I don't think you follow that up with a traditional Zelda game because the 7 million people that bought that, the whatever million people that bought Breath of the Wild, half of them are not going to want your crappy I'm using the words, crappy 2D one. Yeah. They're not going to want that. You and me, I might play that game. Yeah. But a vast majority of the public who picked up Breath of the Wild won't want to play that version of the game. They'll want Breath of the Wild 2.
I think that... I'm not saying, like, one's going to happen without... Like, both are going to happen at some point. I think whether the next 3D one comes out first and then the 2D one, or the 2D one's just a stopgap. I think, they just need a... like Majora's Mask and just like pump it out quickly. Just use the assets, make Breath of the Wild 2. Like I think they can do, like maybe like do a couple of things. Like Majora's Mask is a different game that does have different mechanics. Yeah, do that, but like
I would prefer a different map as well.
Oh yeah, I'm not. Yeah, no, no. Use that map
like
again.
Use the like assets, I guess, but like there's a part of me that's always like, it's almost like, why don't you Skyward Sword it? In terms of give me a Zelda game where I can see, like, use the same, if you're going to use the same map, give me a Zelda game where I can see the past and future of that land. You see where I'm going?
I know you mean.
You know, when like with Skyward Sword, you can see the desert as the ocean or the ocean as the desert,
okay. Depending
on, when you were playing like that kind of thing, and you could like skip between time and all that kind of stuff, and like show me what this, because my main criticism with Breath of the Wild is the fact that you finish the game and nothing changes. The world remains exactly the same as you did before. You don't get to see what happens when you beat Calamity Ganon. So give me a game where I can see that, where I can see the world that grew out of what I did in Breath of the Wild, or the world that led up to Breath of the Wild. If you're going to do that. Yeah. We all know that the Nintendo team has not exactly been good with cohesive world design or world building with the Zelda, because they just make a game and then go, we'll put it here in the timeline. Like they don't care.
To the point where like Breath of the Wild it's 10,000 years after anything, so it can be whatever timeline you want it to be in. It's whatever. The timeline, like, it hasn't made sense since they split it into 3, so...
It hasn't made sense, full stop. It's never made sense.
It made sense, like, if you, like, I think up till Majora's Mask, and then it's just like, because that was like, they were putting out times at the time. Like, this is 100, like, Ocarina was 100 years before the first game or whatever. Yeah. And then, It's still frustrating. I want them to... What happens when you introduce time travel into a series?
But the Ocarina of Time game was so good.
Yeah,
the game
exactly.
Was so
but it just
good.
Fucked with an overall lore. But whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, speaking of Zelda, quickly, the producer of Castlevania has been, the producer of the Castlevania anime has been teasing. He's going to make an announcement at the end of this week about the next project he's working on, and he's been posting a lot of Zelda images. Ooh. Which that could either be a...
We might have breaking news next week.
Yeah. He could either have... They could either be red herrings or he's doing a Zelda anime. If you're doing a Zelda anime, that's good. There's other reports coming out that's like he might be working on a Metal Gear anime, which would be perfect. Like, if he gets the dude who wants to make the Metal Gear movie, brings him in as another producer or like a director over an episode
The thing with the Zelda anime...
You could do anything.
You could do anything, because the whole thing with Zelda is that Link is a blank slate.
Yeah.
It's the player character.
Yeah.
Link has zero personality.
Yeah. He's left-handed.
Sometimes.
Most of the time. I don't like when he's right-handed. That's the only thing that, like...
What is wrong with you? I don't like when my Link is right-handed.
It's weird.
Kind of fucking nitpick bullshit. Fuck off. Because wasn't he right? He was right-handed in Skyward Sword because most people are right-handed.
And he was right-handed in Twilight Princess because GameCube one is left-handed, but they had to flip it.
Yeah,
so that people
so
can
could
use their
use
right
that.
hand.
Yeah. Good. Fucking weirdo. Stupid.
My thing is, it's a weird sort of representation, but it's representation for left-handed people because every video game character is right-handed. There's like 2 left-handed.
It's because they make, like, even left-handed... Okay, so I have... One of my best friends in high school was left-handed.
Yeah.
But he played his guitar right-handed.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that's just the way it is. And he did most things right-handed, apart from writing.
Yeah.
He did left-handed. So, like, when it comes to video games, when you're looking at the character, your face buttons are on the right-hand side, which means that your character is swinging from the right-hand side. It just makes sense to have your characters right-handed.
That's a good point.
Just makes fucking sense. I'm sorry, left-handed people. I'm sorry. God, that's so dumb. Oh, God. All right. Is it like left-handed people need Anyway.
Like I said, it's a weird representation, but...
It's like they're an oppressed minority.
I know, but...
Like, apart from, like, the 1960s when they were whipped for having left hand. Like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Have a game set in the 1960s. Go around killing all the nuns that slapped your hand. God, that seems like... That's dark.
So stupid.
That's a weird Castlevania game.
All right. Let's move on to the reason we convened this emergency podcast. Because we weren't going to film, we were going to leave it, but we both needed to talk about this.
Yeah.
So, Squeenix.
The number one Japanese multi-transnational company.
I doubt that.
I don't think Capcom. Well,
Sony?
Yeah.
You're just going to forget Sony?
Sony's
or
first
Nintendo?
Party. Sony's first party.
Pokemon Company?
I don't... Japan doesn't... Yep. Nintendo doesn't have American developers.
Yeah, they have Nintendo of America.
But they don't make games, do they?
I'm pretty sure they do. I don't know if they make them. I'm pretty sure they help out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they've got... Because they've got studios in other places.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they do.
I
mean, at the very least, Niantic is not in Japan.
But they aren't owned by Nintendo.
No, but they are the developer on Pokemon Go, which is a Nintendo property, which is an international thing. So, like, at the very least, there are some developers.
Who makes the Metroid Prime games? Not Rare. Retro, yeah. They're American, aren't they?
I think so.
Are they owned by Nintendo? I haven't done anything.
I don't know a lot of research on them. I believe
put out
so.
A game in fucking ever. So.
Yeah. I believe so. I believe that they're... I want to say they're Eastern European, but I don't think that's right. But, yeah, no, Nintendo does have, like studios outside of Japan.
But anyway...
Yeah, anyway, Squeenix. What the fuck, guys?
Like...
So they do a live stream.
And I watched it. It was all in Japanese.
It was awful.
There was like a couple of English bits to the point where I didn't even realize, like the first story, I didn't see that happen in the live stream because that part was not in English. I'm like, okay. Then I like looked at the news stories later, and I'm like, what?
Oh man. Yeah. So Final Fantasy 15, which is a game that came out 2 years ago.
Yep.
2 years ago this month.
Yes.
Because it was, 29th of November after it was meant to be the 30th of September or some shit. And they pushed it back anyway. This fucking game that was in development hell for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
They push it out. It's...
incomplete.
Fine.
Yeah.
I'll say. It's mediocre. It's really frustrating because when that game came out, I had a lot of fun with it. I put 70 hours into that game in a week.
Yeah.
I fucking loved playing that game. Yeah. And then I finished the story. And I just... I can't with that game.
The story...
And they're like, we're going to release DLC content. I'm like, well, fuck you. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just done with this. And then, so I didn't play any of the previous DLC. Yeah. I don't care to. Yeah. I don't want to. But there were meant to be 4 more DLC packs released next year.
Yeah, starting like February, March next year. But then
they've cancelled 3 of them.
Yes.
3 of them. 3 out of 4 DLCs gone. The 4th one, the episode Arden, which was the first one, that's
still happening.
It still is happening as far as we know.
No, they confirmed.
They confirmed it. Okay.
They confirmed it as like getting 2 anime teasers before it comes out.
Oh God,
I don't know what that's going to be. If it's just going to be like in the style of Brotherhood.
All right, gotta keep going. We got to keep going because I actually don't want to talk about Final Fantasy 15. I want to talk about Square Enix.
And then the reason I think these were cancelled were they were never enthusiastic about making them, like leading up to like we might do a Luna Freya episode. Like they were even saying like we just don't see any stories talk, like what could we tell about her? And then fans finally said enough, like we want a Luna Freya episode, and like well, fine, you get one. Same with Aranea, and I don't know why they did a plan for a Noctis episode.
Okay. If Square Enix can't see a story in Luna Freya, why the fuck were they telling the story in the first place? There's no story in that. Like, for them to say they don't see a story in putting an episode out for Luna Freya is me going like, well, what the fuck? What, do you not see the gaping holes in the story you told in the actual base game? Because as far as I'm aware, too, the DLC doesn't actually fill in any of those blanks either.
They do. The Season 1 DLC did.
They fill in the blanks for Gladios, Prompto, and Ignis, but not the blanks for Luna Freya and Noctis.
No.
There's still a fucking whole section of their lives that I have no idea about.
Yeah.
And I don't care about the anime. I don't care about the movie.
They don't
even fill that in either.
The closest thing that might fill it in is multiplayer, which is set in that timeline, that time period. Yeah.
Oh, Comrades. That's right. They did multiplayer. Yeah. That's right. Fuck.
The multiplayer's fine.
Fucking hell. So, for them to be... Okay. We need to get through this because I need to then rant about Square Enix. Yeah. So, those have been canned. The last episode will be Arden.
Yes.
Which will be in March.
Yes.
And that's it. That's it for Final Fantasy 15. In the same stream, Tabata leaves.
Announces that he leaves. He doesn't just leave during the stream.
Oh, yeah. No, he might as well have, though, because he's kind of like, I'm out. In fact, the stream happened. He's been gone since October 31st. Yeah. Stream happened 4 days ago?
Oh, yeah, something like that. So he's been away for 2 weeks and no one knew. There was no report. Well, there might have been reporting in Japan, but I feel we would have picked up on that. I don't know.
And he's going off to start his own company.
Which,
fine, fair enough. I have no problems with Tabata. That part of the story, I don't care about.
The line that he says, I want to leave Square Enix to the next generation of people. And to me, I'm like, you were the next generation. You weren't Nomura. You weren't Toriyama. You weren't, you were the next generation. While 15 is a shit show, he shipped it, he put it out. Crisis Core, we're not going to say third birthday. He shipped, Type 0 are all good games.
Yeah.
But
I understand that.
If you got to
also, but when you think about when Crisis Core was released...
2007, yeah.
Yeah, he's been there a long time.
He finally worked his way up from handheld to working on a mainline, and then he was going to get his own IP with Luminous Studio, which is just the team he was working with anyway. They just got his own name, that, and he was going to get his own IP. I'm like, cool. What is that going to be? Is it going to be adding his philosophy? Is it going to be whatever it was going to be? I'm like, yeah. But now he's it must have been butting heads with corporate. It's just because he's making his own new IP, it's not Final Fantasy, so like they wanted to strangle it. Like Octopath Traveler did well. Trust your people.
Yeah, I mean the thing with that is that I'm not going to put any judgment on either side on that one, mostly because like I said, he's been there for over a decade.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't be surprised if it was less that and more just like, we want you to make a new IP, and he's like, I've got nothing left. Like for what maybe they said, we want you to make a new IP and here are the parameters, and he's like, I can't. Like the thing I want to make is not in these parameters, and so they were like, well, what do you want? What do you want to do? Yeah. And then he was like, well, I want to go and do my own thing, and like that's fine. Like creatives are allowed to leave; they're allowed to do whatever they want. Him leaving is not the problem.
No, it's not the problem. I think it's indicative of the problems.
It is. And I get your shit together, Square Enix, for God's sake.
Not just Square Enix of Japan, the entire Square Enix. Like, another contributing factor to whatever the fuck Square Enix is putting Shadow of the Tomb Raider out when it came out. The same way they did with Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like, that series should be on par, could be on par with Uncharted sales. Because it's on 2 platforms. Even like quality aside or whatever, they should be selling as much as that. They should be really good single player games that everyone's playing. But they put them out when every other fucking game's coming out.
This year, Square Enix offloaded the Hitman IP and released The Quiet Man.
Yeah. One of these things is not like the other.
What the fuck are the... Okay, and the other thing is, how has Nintendo figured this out before Square Enix has? Of like how to be a Japanese company in the 21st century? Like how did that happen? How did Sony figure it out? They've figured it out.
They let America do it, that's why.
Yeah. But the thing is they at least had the forethought of doing that.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, cool, worldwide studios, that's the Americans' job. Let them deal with it. Even Nintendo of America isn't that hands-on with Nintendo. No. That's still, the heads of those companies are still the Japanese branches. How is it that Square Enix still can't figure it out? Like, look, guys, I'm begging you, put out a Final Fantasy game in less than 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, just give me one in 3. Like, get a story, get a team together, hash out a story, hash out a battle mechanic. I don't care what it is. Like, honestly, at this point, I think their best play, go back to turn-based.
I don't think they will because of the success of 15 being in, but like they need to refine that. They need to make it a proper action game. Like just make it DMC or Kingdom Hearts at this point. Like that battle system.
But then it's not a Final Fantasy game. Like, I'm sorry, but I need more tactics to it than just button mashing. The reason I like a Final Fantasy game, the reason that I started playing Final Fantasy, is because it allowed me to have a big bombastic cutscene, and then within the battles, settle myself and get myself into a rhythm and start to deal with and wrestle with the story that I'm being presented. Rather than everything happening at a bajillion miles an hour. Yeah. If I wanted DMC, I'll play DMC. That's fair. If I want a Kingdom Hearts, I'll play Kingdom Hearts. Like, if I want these things, there are places to go. They keep trying to do this thing where they want the tactics of a Final Fantasy RPG mashed with the action of a current... Like,
the action with a waypoint to is Advent Children. Like, we want our game to look like Advent Children's action.
And I just don't think those are compatible. I just don't think it is. I don't think you can do both.
13 and 13.2 probably the closest you get in terms of like aerial combat and all that kind of stuff.
Like, honestly, if they go back to that, I'd be happy.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I'd be happy with that system. Like, maybe like refine and make it a little bit different so that when you announce it, people aren't, that's the 13 system. Fuck 13.
Well, the problem with it is though is that there's such a negative stigma to 13. They had to get away from it.
Yeah.
People fucking hate that game, and I think they're wrong.
Yeah.
Those people are wrong. But
there are selective reasons. Yeah.
But I just, like, they keep putting out games that are... It has been a decade of mediocrity for the Final Fantasy series, at least.
And incomplete games. And not no game has been shipped properly with its final vision. Well, no, the 13 trilogy is its final vision, but they took forever to come out. 14.
I mean, they were only a couple of years apart.
Yeah. Like those, like
13 was the last time they actually had like a proper vision and they put it out.
Yeah.
And it went out to the world. The problem was that people didn't like that vision.
Yeah.
And so because of that, Square Enix has been backtracking.
Yeah.
And they put out this and this is the thing that kind of pisses me off, is they put out this half-assed, half-fucked 15 that comes out. And it does well. And I was kind of like, what the what? Why? Like, the game is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It looks so good in the Luminous
It's fun
engine.
to play. Like,
It's fun. Yeah, well...
for the most, like,
it can be, yes.
I played like you played it for 70 hours. I played it for 100 hours. Got the platinum. It was fun to play at the end of it. Maybe not as been like in depth or whatever, but like end of the day, fun to play. With the thing I was going back with Incomplete Vision was Final Fantasy 12, just because of the director. That's like more personal reason. 14 ships.
Yeah.
14 fails, flops. It's Final Fantasy 11 2 when it should have been WoW.
Yeah. But they
and they fix that.
They salvage that.
It's like fucking. Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like, can we get them to just do to Square Enix what they did to Final Fantasy 14? Can we just burn it to the ground and start again?
Yeah.
Because holy fucking shit, I love the Final Fantasy games. They are a massive part of my gaming history, and they are the reason I still play video games to this day, and I always look forward to a new one. I looked forward to Final Fantasy 15 for 10 years. Legitimately 10 years.
I wasn't around. I wasn't paying attention like when Versus was announced, but when I saw like I was in 2011 when I saw like the new trailer come out, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, oh, Final Fantasy Versus 13 looks great.
Yeah.
Since 2011.
I knew about Versus 13 because I was there day one for 13, like when those two games were ready to go. And when I picked up 13, the thought in my back of my head was always Versus 13 is going to be awesome as well. And there's a part of me that wishes they just killed it on the vine.
Yeah.
Like, they just went, this isn't working, and just scrapped it and started again. And it's a shame, because I love their visions. I love the look of the world of 13. I love the look of 15. Oh my god, like this idea of... They have this concept, the way they come up with the idea of magic and machinery meshing together is unlike anyone else's version of that.
The thing is, they aren't typical fantasy like the old games are, but it's not Tolkien's fantasy.
No.
Every fucking time, like every fantasy genre we see is just Tolkien's fantasy. Yeah, we might get our Mortal Engines every now and then.
Yeah.
But Final Fantasy, I love its fantasy. It can be steampunk. It can be 15, like with the Versus idea of like it's the mafia. It's the Yakuza basically.
Yeah. It can be future tech. It can be past tech. It can be anywhere in between. It can be like, I love 10.
Yeah.
10 is like an entire world not based in any sort of like... I love it because not only is it not Tolkien, it's not Western.
Yeah.
It's all based on like Southeast like Asia kind of like that kind of feel, and it's totally foreign in a way that is amazing. The designs of their worlds are amazing, and even 9, which is a little bit more back to basics fantasy, is still like, even their standard fantasy of like dragons and knights and all that kind of stuff isn't standard Tolkien fantasy. It's still a little bit different. It's still got its own quirk to it. And I want them to just let a team go. Please let a team go. And I don't mean let go as in like...
Yeah.
I mean like give them the Final Fantasy 16 thing, and just be like, go. Make a Final Fantasy 16. I mean, we don't care what it is. Just make it. Just make whatever you think Final Fantasy 16 should be.
Yeah.
Go with God.
Yeah.
Get your Tokyo RPG Factory to continue to work on your little stuff.
Yeah.
Get your Luminous Studio to work on a brand new IP. Because I do think Square Enix is due for a brand new IP. Something that is totally...
Like a AAA.
A AAA.
Because like Octopath is their new IP, and that's great. Like Octopath 2, 16 Path. Like...
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is like, I don't know what they... Like, Octopath is great, but it's a self-contained thing.
Just have it like... Final Fantasy, Octopath 2 is just...
8 more stories.
It's 8 more stories with a different set of people. You can build on the mechanics. You can build on the world. 100 years later, 1500 years before. You just do that.
Okay. I don't know if it's novel enough to do that.
Okay.
But I would definitely just like that team to make another game.
Yeah.
In the same style, but with a different... what I actually want... Octopath is great. It's not as interconnected as I would like. I would like to see that team make a style of RPG like they did with a cast of characters that are written interwovenly and with a story that is one coherent unit story, because they're really good at storytelling. Yeah. Those 8 individual stories are fucking fantastic. Even the ones that are like, that's all right, they're still really, really good, really, really engaging. I want to see them take the task of give me one full narrative from start to finish with a group of 6 characters. If they did that, I would be in there, no problems. I'm worried that Square Enix is going to do what Bethesda does, but unearned, which is just continually pump out their old shit and never give us anything new.
You're talking about the Bethesda Game Studios?
Yes. Bethesda Game Studios, the thing where they keep pumping Skyrim onto every platform. Yeah. Bethesda earned that because Skyrim is so good and because people keep wanting it. But the way Square Enix is doing it is we've got Final Fantasy VII on PS1, we've then got the PS3 version on the PSN store, then we've got the Switch version coming out, and then the version on Xbox One, and then there's one on the PS4, and then we've got the remake coming out. It's stop. You haven't earned... You announced a remake for Final Fantasy VII 3 years ago, and you haven't earned the right to be able to pump out the old version until you give us something concrete on the other end. Yeah.
I just want to quickly talk about remake. I've been looking at the Japanese remake stuff, the Yakuza Kiwami games, which are apparently amazing. I just got it through PS Plus, so I might give that a shot. Not the best Yakuza game because it is figuring itself out apparently, but I'll give it a go. Resident Evil 2 looks fucking amazing. Yeah. That's announced that's coming out 3 days before Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
Why can't Square pump out a thing that, I know those are more linear... Well, no, Yakuza's an open world game. Don't fucking be more pretentious than you need to be. Final Fantasy VII could have been spat out in 2 years. It doesn't need to be... they're treating this like Final Fantasy 16 with, the same budget and the same, stuff. No, just adapt it, make it look I'm okay with, them changing the... combat style. I'm okay with changing, updating the...
See, the thing is, I just...
I don't need a fucking fight around with it.
How long has it been since a AAA title did that turn-based combat?
For Final Fantasy? Or?
Just in general. When was the last time a big AAA title like that did turn-based combat?
Ni no Kuni? Is that turn-based? Dragon Quest 11?
Would you call that AAA in the States?
It's AAA, the production quality and all that's AAA. Whether it sells that much, I think this is... I don't actually know.
Because I'm just trying to think about when I think about the games that people talk about a lot. Yeah. The games that I hear a lot about. I don't... There's no game that is turn-based now that is like Final Fantasy VII was back in 1997 when it first came out, of capturing the world by storm.
Yes. Okay.
No one, and the thing is, we were talking about it last week about how wall running in first-person shooters. Yeah. When everyone's doing it, no one cares, but when everyone stops, then you're allowed to have one do it. Yeah. Because then it's novel. No one's doing the turn-based combat anymore.
Very, very few people are.
The ones that are doing it are things like Pokemon.
Yeah.
So no one's doing the active time battle that they do for 7, 8, and 9. That's a thing that's still good. It's still a good battle system. Just they didn't have to change the battle mechanics on 7. No. Just give me the pretty polished version of that so I can play it without having an aneurysm. That's all I really wanted. Yeah. All I ever wanted from a Final Fantasy VII remake was take that, put it in the Advent Children engine, make it look like that, but make it play the same. Yeah. I don't care. I'm happy to see these high-res polygons stand in a row, run up, smack something in the face. I'm cool with that. just give me the game.
Yeah.
Because because the people who are doing these experiences, what they want is the feeling of what they had back then.
Yeah.
So just give me the game. But they're just fucking it from both ends, and I'm really, really getting worried with Square Enix.
Yeah.
Because it feels like, I'm sure they're doing fine because they've got a bunch of mobile properties and a whole bunch of other stuff that's making bank, I'm sure.
Yes,
but it just, the way they're acting, the way they're erratically having things done, they look like a company that's on the brink. Which, like I said, they're probably not because they've got all these mobile things and all this other stuff that's making them money, but they look like a company that's like, they have no idea what they're doing.
They seem like Capcom during the PS3 era, which was also Square Enix during the PS3 era. Like,
yeah.
They just haven't gotten, like, all the Japanese companies went through a PS3 era funk. Okay, that's fine. They couldn't adapt to the HD era of hardware, and especially because the PS3 was a fucking pain in the arse to develop for.
Yeah. And also none of them figured out online play.
Yeah.
They hadn't quite figured out how to work online, because Sony hadn't figured it out.
Yeah.
How to get online as part of your thing and make it work.
Yeah. Now Capcom's caught up. They're really the only Japanese developer. Like Capcom's like putting out Monster Hunter World, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 2 remake. Like Capcom's back. Like yay for Capcom.
Capcom is back.
Put out a Mega Man game. A new Mega Man game.
A good Mega Man game.
Like no one thought that Mega Man was dead. He
in
was
the
only
year of
getting
our
Smash
Lord.
Bros,
Yeah.
like appearances.
In the year of our Lord 2018, they put out a good Mega Man game.
Yeah. Like
Insanity.
But like, yeah, Square needs like. There's so much stuff they can do. They just never do it right, but they get money for it, which is annoying. And they have a new CEO, which happened recently, which is why we're not getting 1,000 like spin-offs anymore. Which is why Final Fantasy 12 happened because the Final Fantasy 12 Revenant Wings happened because of the last CEO. We haven't had that kind of a shitty sequel since the new guy took over. But then we get these universes. We get 15, which is
I'm
way
like
too much for that.
My pet peeve with Square Enix at the moment is their multi-platform thing where they're like, ooh, every game has to have a video game, a comic book, an anime series, a movie adaptation, a fucking yo-yo trading card game, like just all this shit. And you're like, why? Why just... It's the argument I've had with like so many different game developers over the years of just like, put your fucking shit on the disc.
Yeah.
That's what I'm buying. I'm buying the goddamn video game. I'm sick and tired of having to buy all this extra shit just to understand your goddamn... Because this is the thing. I'm okay with supplemental material.
Yes.
Final Fantasy X is a perfect example of it. That game, start to finish, is a narrative that you can follow.
Yep.
And you get to the end and you might be a little bit confused, but the ambiguity is part of the story.
Yes.
So it's fine. But when I get to the end, if it's a love story that's told through and I felt satisfied, there is an Ultimania for that, which digs in deeper into the lore, into the history, into the other bits and pieces that you don't see in the game, which is fine.
Yeah.
Because there's stuff, because the world is bigger than the game itself, which is fine. What I don't like is the Final Fantasy 15 method where the major story beat that causes the game to begin is in a Blu-ray movie that you get with either the collector's edition or bought separately.
Yeah.
That I cannot abide.
Yeah. That's a bad way of doing it. And that's the 15's entire issue. It's entirely like... Another example of supplement, like Assassin's Creed, probably does it the best. No, I'm going to stick to Assassin's Creed because that's what I know. Mm-hmm. They have comics, they have the movie, they have the animated shorts. And all of them are supplementary. You do not need to watch Assassin's Creed Embers to understand anything. Well, you don't need to watch Assassin's Creed Embers. It's a nice movie. It sends Ezio off, but it's not crucial to understanding the entire
Revelation
lore.
sends Ezio off.
Yeah, like it sends it off, but then like Embers kills him, and you literally get to see Ezio's life from birth to death, which is a very rare thing in any character.
Yeah.
Unless, anyway, and then there's comics, and they fill out extra stuff in the thing, but they're not. You don't need to read a comic or watch a movie to understand Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah.
It's all you get. All the lore is within the games itself.
Yes. Yeah.
15 is. Yeah,
it's it's not the lore part though. Like if you need to do,
you're right. Yeah, no, it's the critical
story beats. It's the story. It's the actual narrative in that game, which from the very second you are dropped into the video game, when you hit new game, you are dropped in like what's the word?
Nope. Media res.
Yes, in media res. Yes, where you are dropped in the middle of the action, but not really. You're dropped with your car broken down,
and that's like a fine opening. Like
that's a fine opening. Like them pushing their car through the desert and being like, fuck, our car's broken down. That's a fine opening. Yeah. The problem is that at no point in that game do they explain how they got there. All they say is, well, Insomnia was attacked. You don't see it, you don't play through it, you don't do it. Like, just a fucking flashback playthrough was all I was asking for, of like me controlling Noctis running out of the city. Yeah. That's all I was fucking looking for, because I didn't get to see those moments. Luckily for me, I bought the fucking collector's edition of the game. Well, not the collector's, the deluxe edition of the game. So I had the Blu-ray movie and I watched it and I knew what was going on. Yeah. But for everyone else who just bought that game, a friend of mine who just bought that game, he loves it as well. He's really enjoyed it because he's playing it on an Xbox One X, and apparently it looks fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, fuck me.
Yeah, he's got a 4K TV and he's playing it on an X, and he's like, this thing looks fucking amazing, and he's having a fun time with it, and he really, really enjoyed it, and that's great. But he kept asking me questions about what the fuck was going on because he didn't have the movie because he bought it on sale. Yeah. You know, the deluxe edition, and that was the other thing, is that it's a deluxe edition which was limited. So there's only X amount of copies of that game, like of that movie out there.
The movie, I think, the Kingsglaive itself, like when you buy the disc by itself, it's constantly in the JB2 for $20 sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like and that's fine. Like you can still buy that movie. It's still
that's fine.
Printed. But like you shouldn't have to buy two separate products to understand the main 60-hour product. Like
I keep thinking like the other way around, like. You want to take video games seriously. You want people to actually look at it and not treat it like a piece of shit and treat it like a decent art form. Think about it the other way. And if you had to read an entire novel and then watch a television series before you went to the cinema to watch this movie, that doesn't happen.
The closest is the Marvel movies.
But even then, they only require you to watch the other Marvel movies.
Yeah. The other movies.
And even then, they don't require that because a lot of the time, like the only one so far, honestly, that I thought if you haven't seen everything else, it might be a little bit confusing, is the last Avengers movie. Yeah. That one would be the only one. The rest of them, you can see them in a vacuum and they're fine.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. You might be a little bit confused.
Not even fine. Like, Black Panther, see that in a vacuum? That's a perfectly good movie.
Yeah.
That's 100%, because like a lot of them are origin stories.
Yeah.
And like a sequel to a thing, of course, you've got to see the original before you see the sequel. That makes perfect sense. But this isn't a sequel to a thing. This is a standalone video game that you have just ripped the front end of the story out, part of the middle of it out, slapped it together and gone, here, pay us $100. We're in Australia. Pay us $100, 150. And this is the thing. Pay us $150 and then we'll give you the front and the middle of this story because that's when the season pass was there as well.
Yeah.
So then we'll give you 2/3 of the story if you pay us $50 more than the standard price of the game. You know what? Just release the game at $150 and give me all of it. At that point, I don't care. Just tell me it's a $150 game and just give me all of it at once. Because And don't separate it into a movie. Just put that thing in the fucking game. Take an extra year to develop it and put it in the game.
That's the thing. They should have taken another year, but yeah, they announced 15 too early. They announced they didn't. We got to put this out that, and the DLC, all of that finished it. They obviously needed the extra year because it's just.
But the thing is, they couldn't wait any longer. I can see why they couldn't wait any longer because it had been in new development for 10 years.
But even 15 itself was announced 3 years ago, and 3 years was a long time.
3 years is a long time.
Yeah, but
Spider-Man took 3 years. They put that shit out. It's good.
That was
I'm
a
getting
2-year turnaround in the scheme of things. But then the other thing with Square Enix, they keep showing their games over and over and over again.
Yeah, they need to stop that. Which
7's good. We haven't seen that in ages. I'm hopefully the next time we see it, it's coming out.
But that's
6
also a problem.
To 9 months.
That's also a problem, is because they announce it and then they don't show anything for ages, and then all we get is news drops of 7's development's been completely shifted. Because wasn't it that long ago that they just moved the entire entire development teams? They were like, we're not taking. You guys aren't doing very well. Move it to another team. What are they doing over there?
Exactly. I think, Square, I don't know. They need...
And their E3 press conference was a fucking shit show too.
I just remember it being bad, and I just remember details, which is...
There's like one game in there that I was like interested in, but again, it was the Final Fantasy VII thing where it was like basically a logo and a still image. Like Babylon something.
That wasn't Daemon X Machina, was it?
No. It was called Babylon something. I can't remember.
Babylon Fall?
Is that it?
I think.
Maybe.
That's the Platinum game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're also doing
and that's the
Front Mission sequel, whatever that is.
And that's the other thing, is that Platinum is still under the Square Enix banner, and they're doing fine. Like, how is it that there's, like, some of these sub-departments are doing fine?
Platinum is its own company, they're just publishing through,
Yeah, but
Square.
how? I can't.
The Final Fantasy brand's buggered. Like, they need 16 should be a reboot for the company in terms of the IP. Like, hey, there's a game, we're just putting out games now. But then they do the Assassin's Creed model, like, do comics, do manga, like, do supplementary material, not
yes, it
crucial
needs to be
material.
supplement. That is the key issue, is that they need to start doing supplementary material rather than expecting, because that's the problem with 13, is that everything you need is in those games, but it doesn't make sense unless you read the Ultimania.
Yeah.
Everything is there. It is definitely there.
Yeah.
But you need to get through to the end of the third game and then go read the Ultimania, and then it starts to make sense. But
Which is not a good way to make a game.
And I love those games.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, no! Come on!
But yeah, like you said, Nier was technically rebooted, and like
Nier
Nier the
Automata.
fucking beautiful, amazing game.
Oh, what a masterpiece.
Octopath Traveler, a new IP, sold really well for them.
What a fucking masterpiece. Honestly, Octopath Traveler. I've been playing Red Dead for the last couple of weeks. I played a fair chunk of Red Dead last weekend, did some more stuff, and then just gave up on it because I heard the sirens call of Octopath Traveler. Because I still haven't finished that fucking game. But I started again playing, like kept playing up from where I was already in my save, and just kept going and going and going. Got to another story beat and was like, this game is fucking excellent. It's so good.
Yeah. And that... I'm just trying to think of other Square IPs. Kingdom Hearts. That has its issues, but they still put out games, and they're still all good games.
I think
Kingdom Hearts doesn't have the issue of you need to read this.
Yeah.
You just need to play the games.
Okay.
Which is the Assassin's Creed logic. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, but the problem is you need to play a bunch of games on platforms that no one owns.
Well, now the collections, all PS4, they're all there.
Yeah, I know.
They've simplified it the fuckery, which is...
But also half of them are bad games.
No, they're all fine games. There's only like two bad games and one's a movie, so... The bad games are now movies, and it's just the card game that's bad.
The card game is so bad.
I can see why people say that. I like that because I'm weird. Although I'm weird. But like...
I hate that card game.
Yeah. It works better when it's a GBA game, because it's like, it's just cards, whereas like when it's a 3D game like cards, I'm like, that's weird. That is weird.
I don't mind a card game. Like I'm all up for a Yu-Gi-Oh game. Yeah. Like I'm cool for a card game, but I think the system in that is just bad.
They develop it, like the rest of the games that aren't the core game develop on that, and like their slots, and like they work better than the cards. And then like Birth by Sleep, String Drop Distance, I think that's the only other ones. They're good games.
Okay.
My point, yeah.
I'll take your word for it because I haven't played that shit.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts is an IP that's going well for them. They just keep fucking up their trailers. They keep putting in the theme song, which is the ending theme song, we've realised. They don't put any audio behind it. It's just, hey, like when swords are clashing, you don't hear that. It's just the song and like, I'm going to take you down. They're bad trailers. Kingdom Hearts should be the most hyped trailer of all time because of a Disney.
I think, okay, I'm going to leave, I'm going to, before I get angry and just stop and yell into the microphone forever, and we continue this, I think I'm just going to say one last thing on Square Enix. I feel like now that Final Fantasy 15 is out, and now that Kingdom Hearts 3 will be out in January, Kingdom Hearts 3 is the final hump. It's that final red herring, this MacGuffin that everyone's been wanting from Square Enix for so long. It's the one that we've known about. Like it's those two games that people knew about for so long and have just been wanting them to do it that they haven't done yet. And once they're out, it feels like that era of Square Enix is finally left behind. Hopefully. We can finally leave that. It's like, okay, cool. Because then after Kingdom Hearts 3, apart from the little bits and pieces of stuff that they showed at E3, which wasn't a lot, like I said, it's that one Platinum game, not the Square Enix game, we don't know what's next.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then that's it.
That's it.
I know Tokyo RPG Factory is...
honestly don't count the remake.
That's fair.
Because I honestly don't care about it. Which is sad, because I should be wanting to play that, and I just don't care.
I think that game is going to get a re-reveal. It's going to be this one package. It's not going to be this fucking episodes thing. If they want this game to be taken seriously as a remake, because, like I said, Yakuza Kiwami exists. It needs to come out as one package. Make it... I could either go either way, whether it's the action system or the old ATB system. But either way...
Pick one.
Pick one, stick with it, make it one full game, and then show... And it comes out in like 6 to 9 months.
Yeah, from the moment you show it.
Yeah.
If they do that, because that was the thing that I always said about Final Fantasy 15, was that if they just shut up, hunker down, get it done, and then when the team goes, we can release this in 6 months, cool. Trailer, release date, done. That's all, and that solves your problem. It's the same thing with like...
And then delay it.
Yeah, I mean, a month delay here or there, who cares? But like a lot of game companies have now fallen into the trap of like showing games too soon, too early. And I'm hoping that with 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 swept to the side, finally done, the whole thing, Square Enix can just focus and just be like, cool, let's get these things done. And the next time, what I'm basically hoping from them next is that the next time I see the words Final Fantasy on the screen, it will be like Final Fantasy 16, release date 12 months from when I see that trailer.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Let me do that. If you do that, I'm not going to say all is forgiven, but I will actually be back on board. Because at this point, Square Enix has gone from my favorite gaming company to one of my least favorite.
I wouldn't say that, because I still like the games they put out. I mean, like...
Yes, I still like the games they put out, but like in spite of the company, not because of what they do. Like I kind of don't like the company anymore. The games they put out are fine.
So that's the thing. But like, they've been like this since I've been aware of them. Since 2011, they've been...
Yeah, but they haven't been like that before.
Yeah, when they were Square.
Yeah,
like,
when they were Square Soft.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. It's like... Square Enix has never known what it wants to be. That's what happens when your fucking financial days on
That's what happens. That's what happens when two rival companies merge.
Yeah, and like Enix, they still put out Dragon Quest games. Enix seems to be fine. Like I don't know what the Enix influence in Square is now. Like
I don't know if anyone even remembers what Enix is anymore.
Exactly. But other than that, I don't know of any Enix properties.
Parasite Eve.
That was Square.
That was Square?
Yeah.
I thought that was Enix.
No, that was Square. That was why we like, they're making a shooter on the PS1. That's weird.
Yeah, no, like, if it, like I said, the next time I see the words Final Fantasy, it better be with a release date attached to it. That's all. Like, if I ever see a Final Fantasy trailer that isn't concrete and gives me exactly when it's going to be next, I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe in it until they give me a release date anymore.
Yeah.
Because I kept hoping and hoping for the 15 one. And even when they gave me the release date, it wasn't the fucking release date. Like those assholes.
Yeah. Final Fantasy is the IP that's being dragged through the mud. Like, their other IPs are fine. Like, even their Western stuff, like, they've got Avengers. They announced that way too early. But it's cool that, like, that'll probably be a PS5 game. The problem
with Final Fantasy is that it's got like a similar Pokemon. It's got like a Pokemon factor to it, where like simply having the name Final Fantasy on something guarantees it a certain amount of sales.
Yeah,
and that's a problem.
Yeah, and they're getting away from that problem. Octopath Traveler.
Oh god, that game is so good.
like Octopath Traveler is like that. Oh, and Tokyo RPG Factory. While their second game wasn't as good, I've only heard good things about I Am Setsuna.
Yeah, it's fine.
I am gonna give it a go. It's on Switch, so I just need money.
Yes.
But like those two like streams give me hope.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be the game I want, which is not the game that it should be for the masses, but it's the game, it's for Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 4 should be a soft reboot.
Is there a Kingdom Hearts 4?
They haven't announced it, but it's going to happen. Kingdom Hearts is their third best-selling franchise. It's Final Fantasy.
I just would feel better if they were like Kingdom Hearts 3 and we're done.
I think
just
they
call
should
it.
have a stop. They should take a 5-7 year break.
See, the thing is,
but then come back.
The thing is, they do Kingdom Hearts 3 and then they take a blur amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay, look, they can take that break. If they're going to do another Kingdom Hearts game, they won't take the break. They will do it really quickly.
Yeah, because Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to sell bananas.
Exactly. But here's the thing. If they wrap up Kingdom Hearts 3 properly and actually have some closure at the end of that story, fine, take a break.
Yeah.
If that fucking thing ends on a goddamn cliffhanger, I will murder someone. And then I better get another game in 2 years.
I think Kingdom Hearts, like, it's always been billed as the end of the Xehanort saga, which is the main villain. I'm like, that's fine, cool. I think there is going to be a tease at the end of, like, this is, like, just, I don't even know what kind of tease, but it would be something, like, the way Kingdom Hearts 2 ended. Just like, oh, what's this letter about?
I can't, God, no.
But yeah. But it won't be like that. It's not going to be a cliffhanger. It'll be Iron Fist shooting out of his bullet sort of thing. That was weird.
No.
But anyway.
No, okay, yeah. We'll see. That's all I got to say on Square Enix right now.
Yeah, no.
I'm tapped out.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just too much anger.
Good news though. Final Fantasy 13 trilogy coming to Xbox One backwards compatibility with X enhancements.
Really?
Yeah, they announced that at the Xbox event that happened the other day.
Fuck yes.
Which makes me like, I want to play Lightning Return, but I want to play it on an Xbox One X. All issues. I don't have that game.
I don't have that console.
One X, and I don't have a 4K TV, so I'm just going to play it on PS3.
Yeah. No. I mean, the game still looks good on a PS3 anyway. That's interesting. One day I will see. The thing with those kind of announcements is that that's interesting. That doesn't mean anything for me now because I don't have an X.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't want to play that like Xbox One. Like they don't do too many enhancements for it. It's just like slide up scaling. I would like if I had money, I'd kind of like an X seems cool.
So like I have a 4K TV. I don't have an X. But for me, what this says is because of the way Xbox has been doing everything, it means that what will eventually happen is that I will be able to play this on the next iteration of the Xbox. Because I'm not going to get an X. I'm not going to throw the money at that this late in the cycle.
Yeah.
I'm just going to wait until the next one, and then it will be backwards compatible again because that's what they're doing, and then I'll get to play that on the new one with whatever enhancements they've got. So what that means is, like, in the future, I'm going to play the trilogy again. Yeah. Cool. I'm cool with that.
And with Xbox 2 enhancements.
Yeah, whatever.
Even if it's up to X quality, like if that's as far as they can go with upscaling it.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Fine.
That's
like,
fine.
Still
I'm cool with that.
Like,
yeah.
Was there any other news?
Well, Red Dead Redemption sells a lot of copies. That doesn't.
No, it's not surprising.
Not surprising at all.
It outsold Red Dead Redemption 1.
I will jump onto the online probably as soon as it comes out just to see what that is and then report back. But as I said, I stopped playing it to play Octopath again.
Yeah.
And also because I made the sudden realization of like, well, Pokemon comes out in 2 days. I'm not going to finish this game, so fuck it. I
had the ending of Red Dead spoiled for me in terms of like what the epilogue is.
Nah, right.
I'm like,
don't do that. I do want to finish that game before we talk.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I'm like,
before we talk Game of the Year, I do want to finish
I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's not all too surprising.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, that thing's got to lead to Red Dead 1, so, can't be that surprising.
Yeah. Red Dead Redemption 2, getting all the Game of the Year with. I'm like, I get it, but like hearing everyone's control issues, I'm like, when God of War works perfectly,
I don't see it getting. I don't see. I feel like there will be several. I feel like there's going to be a 50-50 split. There will be a lot of outlets that decide to give Red Dead Redemption 2 Game of the Year, and I think there'll be a lot of outlets that decide to give it to God of War because of the controller thing. Some outlets will just not be able to get past that.
I can't get control past it. And like for me, it's a game. It should work like a game. It should be intuitive.
It works like a game. It just works like a bad game.
Yeah, which is not good. When everything else in that game's great,
it sucks. Prima Games is shutting down, which I thought was already known, but apparently
as far as I know, like I hadn't seen any bankruptcy stories or anything like that.
But
like,
at least
they came out and said, Toys R Us style, we are closing down early 2018.
Which, for those of you who don't know, that's the people who generally make strategy guides for your video games. Mostly, your.
I think they are partnered with. Well, if they're partnered with EB, they're probably partnered with GameStop. So
probably, but yeah, they're shutting down. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm sure someone will fill the void.
Who knows? Print media is so... We are going to get back to print. The same way that we got back to vinyl.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, like I said, the thing that I think Prima didn't do correctly was that when it started to become very real, very obvious that people were going to move their guides and walkthroughs to online, and that's what people wanted to use, like YouTube walkthroughs or anything like that. They should have doubled down and focused on their collector's stuff, because the stuff that people buy now is like the hard covers, get more art, get more lore, make the strategy guide less of a strategy guide and more of just an extension book. Yeah. That kind of stuff would have been better, because their art books are still amazing as well. So like, if their strategy guides were not only walkthroughs but also a little bit more art, lore, stories, interviews, that kind of stuff, that would have been probably a little bit more to get them through. But it is what it is. And honestly, I don't use that many guides anyway. Like, I buy them because they look pretty. So whoever decides to fill that void, I'll just buy it off them instead. Sorry. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
I hope everyone at Prima Games lands on their feet. I don't know if anyone's still employed there.
Yeah, hopefully.
I would assume that shutting down comes with layoffs, and layoffs means people lose their jobs, and that sucks. That's not a good thing.
Yeah. I don't know where you are, but just go to any internet guides team. You'll be much welcome. They always need help. So.
Yes, yeah, big job. And then you wanted to talk about...
Netflix is... Oh, wait. Yeah, Netflix is ending their support for the Wii. There's no longer going to be the Netflix channel on the Wii.
Oh, no.
The best way to stream 480p.
Whatever will middle-aged mums use now for their Netflix.
The 3DS.
Yeah, fucking who? Why is this an announcement? Why?
It's just a thing that people like me to think.
Who cares? Who cares? Donald Trump is the president of the United States. This doesn't make news. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter.
Well, that's very different. If we were going to talk about Donald Trump, this would be a very different show.
I'm just saying there are more important things. Even in the gaming industry, there are more important things than this. God damn it.
Speaking of more important, did you end up getting to watch the XO18 event, or just anything from
No, I watched a quick breakdown trailer, like 3 minute, like this is what happened in XO18. All of it seemed boring.
Yeah, well that...
None of it jumped out at me like, oh, like everything was just like, huh, no, yep, no, okay, yep.
I forget who it was, but someone on Twitter pointed out that it's just a Game Pass ad.
Yeah.
I'm like, they announced 16 games for it. I'm like, yeah, that is.
Yeah, that was the thing that I noticed from the little breakdown thing, was that like literally every announcement was just like every second announcement was blur on Game Pass, blur on Game Pass, blur on Game Pass. I'm like, okay.
But they did buy Obsidian. Which...
I mean, good. I like Obsidian.
Hopefully they can give that team a proper... What's the word? Not PR... QA team, so that they don't keep shipping buggy games.
I mean, it depends on the game they're trying to make.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Bethesda has a huge QA team. They still ship buggy pieces of shit. Also, day of this recording, Fallout 76 is officially launched.
Officially?
Yeah, it's today. Today is the launch day.
In Australia?
Yeah.
Like, okay. Because I've seen people who are able to play it early because of stupid bugs in America.
Yes. So apparently here's a thing that I found out. Apparently the people were looking into the coding on the Fallout 76, like on the PC version, and apparently it's just a notepad document. So
saying yes or no to play.
Pretty much.
So you just go in and change Y from N to Y, and then you're good?
And off you go. And not only that, the notepad document was so easy to change that a lot of people... You were able to put in the command line, like, kill player, type in the player's name, and they would just die.
Bethesda. It's an online game.
Bethesda came out and said, like, this isn't the way it's going to work on launch. It's going to be all server side. Don't worry about it. It's all. They kind of came out to smooth it over. But at the end of the day, like, what the fuck, Bethesda?
You saw those stories where, like, people were booting up the beta and then the beta would just delete itself.
Yeah.
And you had to reinstall a 50 gig game.
Do you know what caused it?
No.
You clicking on the Bethesda launcher. That was the thing that caused the Bethesda launcher to go, oh, you want to delete this? Bye. And then just deleted it. They literally put out a tweet saying, don't click the Bethesda launcher, we're fixing it.
There's another game, another story that came out. It was just like, all like pre-launch, just to boot the game up, there's way too many bugs.
I'm sorry,
Bethesda needs to get a new fucking engine. Put out Starfield on a nice shiny new engine. There's Witcher, there's Horizon, there's Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead has bugs, but it's not, you don't boot it up and it dies.
I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, there are a lot of people who are like, what? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean it's so buggy? I'm like, it's Bethesda putting out an online-only game in 2018. What the fuck did you expect? Like, I honestly expected this thing to launch and then it turns my PlayStation into a toaster. Because that's just what Bethesda does. Like, there's that friggin' meme about it where it's like, hey, Bethesda, is this a bug or a feature? Yes.
Yeah. It's...
Yes.
Dragon flying backwards.
Yes. Like, they don't care. They
should.
They reached a point where their bugs... It reached a point where their bugs became such a meme that they decided it would be funnier to lean into it than to try and fix them. So now they just lean into it. They know their games are buggy as fuck. They're never gonna fix them.
They should, though.
They don't.
Look, like the game they've just pointed out, those are games that run with relatively few bugs.
Mm-hmm.
You can launch the game, you can play it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't destroy your PS3 when you play it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there are pretty substantial bugs in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't know how. But for the most part, I've played that game so far with relatively low buggy.
Yeah.
Unlike Fallout 4, where I ran into bugs like within the first 30 minutes and, after about 6 hours of gameplay, I decided, fuck this, it's not worth it. Yeah. So we'll see how that launch goes, because I'll bet I'm going to jump onto Twitter and see what the fuck is going on around the world, because that game is like, I knew the second day, Bethesda online-only game, simultaneous launch worldwide. There is no part of that game, there's no part of that scenario that should make you feel comfortable. That should make you go, that'll be fine. But that's the thing, it's such a known quantity. I haven't heard any games outlets even talk about it, about how, no, this thing's going to be broken as fuck. We know that. Yeah. We're not shying. We know it so well, we're not even going to talk about it. Yeah. It's like saying the sky's blue today. It's just so dumb.
Please get a new engine, Bethesda.
If
Telltale was about to do it, you guys...
I mean, Telltale's not a good example of this.
It's not.
It's a bad example. But if Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6, they've got to be running on new engines, surely.
Hopefully,
we would
hope that, as well.
Because
Oblivion tech still, maybe Morrowind.
Yeah, I believe it's still Oblivion.
Yeah,
I believe they built the new engine for Oblivion and
then just keep
building on that. Yeah,
that's fine. They've done it.
Oh,
the company is so big enough now that they should be able to.
They have used every part of the buffalo. They have absolutely.
Yes. And the buffalo is now limping. The
buffalo
is still animated, but it's still and then when you click on it, it deletes itself. God, they need a new buffalo.
They need a new buffalo. They've used enough. It's done. God damn it.
Please get a new one. Elder Scrolls 6. Here's the thing. I've been really wanting to play Skyrim lately. And I do not have the time, nor I shouldn't need to play Skyrim again. But walking around, combat system's pretty bad.
Stop. People need to stop giving Bethesda the license to keep doing this.
I know. And that's the other thing. I don't want to necessarily buy Skyrim again. I have my PS3
people buy
version.
Skyrim 7 different times, and they complain about how they're not, making a new Elder Scrolls. So you're not giving them an incentive to.
Yeah.
If you want to give them an incentive to make a new Elder Scrolls, stop buying the old one. so that they can go, oh, we haven't sold an Elder Scrolls in a while, I guess we'll make a new one. Like, that's how it works.
Yeah.
When the tail end of the last thing dies off, you make the new one. Oh, anyway.
Skyrim sold so well that they're making a whole new IP in between.
Like, yeah, exactly.
They're like, nah, Elder Scrolls 6 will come out in 2025.
Yeah. It'll be fine. Yeah, like, we're not seeing that game for years.
No.
Years.
If there's another game in between. Like,
yes. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know which comes first. I don't know if Starfield or Elder Scrolls comes first.
They were pretty much insinuating, like, yeah, Starfield's the next one, and then you won't see 6 for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's this last one? I think I saw this one. It's
It-
the subscription service thing, how like PS Plus is the industry leader on...
Yeah. It's, not PS Plus, PS Now.
Now?
Yeah.
How?
So the quantitative data is for the streaming services. So like EA's Access and Xbox Game Pass. Which can you stream for Game Pass?
I believe so.
Okay, I thought it was just downloading.
No, I believe you can stream as well.
But in any case, PS Now has the 51% share of that market, which is a big chunk, but it's nothing compared to the biggest one. But yeah, it's just because of install base, basically.
But that doesn't make any sense, because I don't know anyone... Look, we don't have PS Now here.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of countries where that's just not available.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
I don't like
Access
that.
is worldwide.
What?
Game Pass is worldwide.
What?
Well, I'm not sure if it's worldwide. We have it.
We do, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But like PS Now,
Games
nothing.
Pass was one of those ones where they're like, we're announcing Game Pass. And I'm like, yeah, great, America, have fun with that. And then it came to Australia, and I was like, huh. They actually, okay.
Games Pass.
There were some games on that XO18 announcement that were going on to Game Pass that I actually considered getting a Game Pass subscription. And being like, maybe I'll play that.
Ori, Hellblade. Have you played Hellblade?
No, I haven't.
If you're gonna do it, get.
There was another one on there, though, that I was like,
There's a new Robert Kirkman game. There's the Bioshock's not Bioshock game. One of the co-creator of Bioshock's making a new game.
Oh, okay.
Not Ken Levine.
Yeah.
There's Ori. I can't remember anything else.
There was a couple of other stuff. There was a bunch of things on there that I was like, they're like for $10 a month or $13 a month here, I think it is.
I think it is 10. Karen says he only pays like $10, $11 for it.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
For whatever that is a month, that's reasonable for access to all these games that seem okay.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, well, I wouldn't pay $60 or $100 for this particular thing, but I might pay $10 a month for it for like a few months and then cancel it.
Pay $10 for Crackdown 3. When it comes out.
Yeah.
That got dated there officially. It's the 15th, it's not the 22nd.
Oh, good. They brought it forward a week.
Yeah.
Oh, would you look at that? Good on you, Crackdown guys. Good on you.
So that has a date. That's good. What else came out of that EXO event? It was just like updates, and like that's kind of what PSX was just updates. Here's like a new game, but they also announced things like medieval remakes.
Yeah, but the thing is, they cancelled PSX this year because they don't have anything to.
Cancel. It's just like they've just taken a year off.
Yeah, but the explanation was we don't have anything to announce. Now we haven't talked about the Blizzard thing yet.
Do we need to?
No, we're not going to. But like that's the thing. That's like a perfect example, and I think XO18 as well. Like if you don't have anything to announce, just don't do the event.
I think I said this last time. The XO18 event is them getting their like, hey, PSX, we get some spotlight on us, and then next year, those events are going to be around the same time. We'll have our event. We'll probably announce something there, like something. This is just a pilot, basically, not only for their like staff to like, who can we like, how to actually set up this event in not America.
Yeah.
But then I thought I saw something.
No.
But then it's also like, hey, getting modern fans, because EXO events they happened in like 2006. Like
Yeah. They're an old thing. Yeah.
Revitalize, like getting the modern fandom, like, hey, this is a thing.
Get energized about the thing.
And like,
yeah.
it's a cool Xbox event. I'm like, next year.
Okay.
I think like
we'll see how it goes next year.
Yeah. Next year I think. But yeah, no, Blizzard is another example. Like they shouldn't have had. Like that mobile announcement should have been a
God fucking damn it.
press release.
God,
Or just the trailer, just a random
no,
day.
like it was the thing that I kept hearing over and over again is they should have started with the mobile announce and it's ended with just the fucking logo. That's
Just
all
the
the
logo.
people needed was a
A
fucking
voiceover. The hell is dark.
Yeah.
Like I'm a necromancer. Diablo 4.
It's dark and hell is hot. Yeah, that's all they needed. That's all they needed, but yeah, misreading on the Blizzard side, but also guys, get it together. It doesn't matter. The game's not for you.
Yeah.
So what?
The idea, many of the arguments I've heard for it is that, like, it's when you travel across the country to get to this and pay a fucking fortune to get into maybe see when the panel is called The Future of Diablo, you're like, okay, maybe even Diablo 3 expansion, like that still would be good news.
But the thing is, so all the arguments I saw, we are going to talk about the Blizzard thing apparently. No, it's fine. But all the arguments I saw from people being like, no, I'm allowed to be angry were like, oh, I paid all this money and I traveled all across. Okay, did you travel across the world just to see that keynote? Because it's BlizzCon. It's a whole convention. It's not just that keynote. So it's like going into a restaurant and going like, well, I paid $25 for my steak, salad, and chips, and the salad was bad, so fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, were the steak and chips good? Yeah, the steak and chips were amazing. But the salad was slightly too tangy, and I didn't like it. Fucking... Then don't eat the salad, eat the steak and chips, you'll be fine. Like, I know it's not all that you paid for, but it's a little bit less than what you paid for, and honestly, that happens all the time. The other thing is... Fuck you, you're not entitled to anything.
Yeah.
This game hasn't been released. This game hasn't been put out to the public. You haven't bought this game. You have the ability to buy the game later on. And if you don't want to, you don't have to.
Yeah.
That's what the market is. So fuck you, you're not entitled to anything. The creatives are not your slaves where you get to go, make Diablo 4, and they have to do it. No, they get to make whatever the fuck they want. And this time, they decided they want to make a mobile game because guess what? Mobile games make a lot of money.
And Blizzard likes money.
And guess what? If they make a lot of money off of the mobile game, then they'll get to put out Diablo 4 quicker.
Or make that a better game.
Exactly, because they'll be able to put more resources to it.
Yep.
And finally, my last point on this one that actually really pissed me off is that them making a Diablo mobile game does not mean they're not making a Diablo 4. The studios are different. That's not how it works. People are like, they're not making... No, they are.
Yeah.
They're in development. They're probably halfway through it or some decent chunk through it.
Apparently it's gone through a couple of resets.
Which is fine.
Yeah,
that's
happens.
fine. And that they had something...
And Blizzard has the capital to be able to reset a thing to make it perfect.
Absolutely. But just because a department, again, and the thing is then they, and this was the problem with the Outrage machine was that they got Outrage. They were making the mobile game first. And it was like, oh, because you're taking away resources from Diablo 4. And then it was found out that actually, no, it was being made by a Chinese developer who was making Diablo clones already. Yeah. So then the anger turned into, well, it's just a Chinese developer making a Diablo clone already. Like, what is this? This isn't even a new game. And it's like, so you're angry that they're not making a new game or that they're making a new game? You need to pick one, motherfucker. Like, you need to pick one.
I think this goes back to our constant discussion of we don't know how games are made. But,
yes.
In terms of, if this thing is being made, this means this other thing is not being made. That's not how it works.
No.
One of the things, Final Fantasy is a good example of this. And they announced Mobius Final Fantasy and Brave Exvius. What the fuck? Where's Final Fantasy 16? Blah 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 blah. No, they're completely different.
Different teams.
I think maybe Mobius has a better argument because that is good. That's a team. That's the Final Fantasy 10 dude.
The only time that the argument that I've ever seen, in terms of maybe this thing was back with the Red Dead argument of they've got a giant team, they've got all their teams working on one game.
Yeah.
And so when something isn't, and that is one of the things that makes me look at that game and go, but that's probably why it runs so well, is because there wasn't, they were able to devote every single resource in that company to that one project.
Yeah.
As opposed to other companies which, and this is the thing, is not every company can do that. They've got to have multiple plates spinning. Yeah. So they've got a division that's working on mobile games, and a division that's working on console games, and a division that's working on concepting the new stuff, and a division that's working on maintaining the old stuff.
Yeah.
They've got all these different things. Blizzard's a big company. It's making a lot of money. You'll get your Diablo 4. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah.
Chill the fuck out. But also, Blizzard, dude, come on.
Yeah.
You could have done it better. This is one of those ones where it is not clear-cut which side, it's not clear cut that one side fucked up over the other side.
Both sides fucked up.
Both sides fucked up because they shouldn't have done that announcement in that way, and the other side really shouldn't have reacted that way.
Yes.
What you should have done was just gone, Like, the internet reaction should have been like, boo!
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
And then just don't buy the game.
Yeah, don't bother. It's probably going to be free to play anyway, so don't...
Exactly. So don't download it. Fucking, it's not that difficult. Not that hard.
Yeah.
But the whole reaction of like, you guys have phones, don't you? Fuck, Jesus.
Yeah,
Blizzard's cleanup on that was so bad.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Like it wasn't just that Blizzard fucked up the announcement, it's that they fucked up the PR after the announcement.
And that shows a tone deafness. And I think one of the arguments is that like Blizzard is a PC developer. And the PC are like the most hardcore gamers.
They hate console people.
Yeah. Even though they put a couple... They've only put Diablo on console. Like, that's the only... Oh, I'm Overwatch.
No, but I'm just saying PC gamers. Yeah. They hate console people.
Yeah.
Like, they hate... Like, they are such hardcore gamers, they hate other gamers. Like, they just... That core audience is so vitriol, or can be so vitriolic. They can also be very good.
Yeah.
Like, the Overwatch community is actually great.
Yeah.
Like, they're actually pretty positive. In fact, most of Blizzard's communities are actually really positive.
Yeah.
It's just when you get on their bad side, and Blizzard got on their bad side, and it was a bad move. Bad move, Blizzard. Bad Blizzard.
But yeah, no, what a shit show. It's been too many shit shows.
A lot of shit shows in a row. Let's hope, like Pokemon comes out in 2 days.
I've got that thing pre-ordered. It is installed on my Switch. I am...
Nice. You're not going to get the Pokeball controller?
Oh, no.
I'm going to get the Pokeball controller.
I don't have that kind of money.
I'm going to get me a Mew.
I just import my Mew if it's that important.
Fair enough. But yeah, Pokemon comes out in 2 days, and then in 11 days after that, I will get Darksiders 3. The world is getting better.
And then Smash comes out.
And then Christmas.
And then Just Cause 4, and then Christmas, and then Resident Evil 2 and Kingdom
Hearts 3.
Man, what a fucking...
And then
it doesn't stop.
No.
I'm still getting Assassin's Creed DLC. I'm still getting...
Games don't end, man. Games don't end anymore.
And I'm playing single player. That's actually what I want to... do we have time? I want to quickly talk about, like, 15's idea of, like, single player games as services. I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey is doing it well at the moment. We're only in the second month, and in the second month, they're like, hey, we're going to raise the level cap. Oh, you guys have already hit level 15, you keep playing? The game remembers. So when we roll out this update, it's going to like boost you to whatever level you've actually gotten to and give you all the ability points. So I might be level 69, but then have like all my ability points. That's great. There's a new, like the update finally came out today of like, I get to kill another Cyclops. That'll be fun. Yeah. Beyond like just here's a new mercenary and here's a new ship, like I don't care about that. But like...
Look, single player games as a service is possible. Hitman proved that.
Yeah.
Hitman 2016 is a perfect version of single-player games as a service.
Yeah.
Now, they didn't follow through with it because the company, split from Square Enix and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you can get it done. You just need to find the right game and the right mechanics for it. I just don't think Final Fantasy 15 was the right game for it.
Yeah,
but they should have just released the whole thing.
But then Square looked at it and like, game as a service, we can do that. I'm like, Which is why I'm kind of glad that they're spinning off their multiplayer.
They've got a games as a service. It's called Final Fantasy 14.
And you still have 11. 11 is still going, and it still has a good dedicated community to the point where it is Square's most profitable thing ever.
Yeah, that's so bad, dumb.
Yeah, I'm like, I would like more games of service. Like Spider-Man's not really games of service. We're just getting another 3 episodes.
It's just it's a game with DLC.
Yeah,
which we've done for years. Like I just don't think like the thing was that Square didn't know how to do games with DLC.
Let alone a game as a
because
service.
13.2 and Lightning Returns all had DLC content.
13 didn't.
Yes, it did.
Did it?
I'm pretty sure it did.
I'm pretty sure it didn't.
Yeah, in the casino area.
13 casino.
I'm pretty sure it had some DLC content. Maybe not. It was supposed to. That's what it was. It was supposed to, but it didn't.
Yes, that is correct. Because 13.2 was the first time when they put the extra in during...
Yes, because 13.2 they did the extra DLC, and then Lightning Returns had DLC, which actually I thought was not too bad because it was mostly just costumes.
Yeah.
Which was fine.
Yeah.
That was a good way of doing it. But like they never figured it out. And then they went and did a full fucking season pass and stripped a bunch of it. No.
Yeah. That's a bad way to do it. What I'm saying is like, I really want more games to be like Assassin's Creed. for the game I'm interested in. Like, Assassin's Creed is doing it well, and then, like, next month we'll get the first chapter of the proper DLC expansions.
Yeah.
And probably more updates with that. I'm like, okay, keep going. Another quick update that they're doing is, like, you have your items and stuff. Like, say you have this helmet, and it's got really good stats, but you don't like the way it looks, because I think there's a bunch of badly designed costumes in that. You can swap it out. You can keep the stats, but put in, like, instead of a helmet, you can wear a hood instead. Keep the aesthetic of what you want to wear. I'm like, that's a really good system. I wish it would have launched, but second month they're putting it in. Like, well done, Ubisoft. You've taken what you've learned from Division, For Honor, etc., Siege, and
Ubisoft is good at that.
Yeah,
but Square Enix is not.
No, I'm excited. I want Square to look at Assassin's Creed Unity. Not Unity.
Odyssey.
Don't ever look at Unity.
Don't look at me.
Odyssey, and like. Go like and other companies do that. Like even Sony, I don't know what IP they would do that for, but
God of War.
God of War was perfect, but it's maybe going forward.
Going forward, they could do that. Yeah. But I get the feeling that that team.
Horizon even could do that. I think because like.
But they did a DLC for Horizon. It was fine.
Like games of the service side.
Yeah, I don't want Horizon to be a games as a service thing though, because it's a story driven game. And the thing with the games as a service thing is that what they were trying to do is give you the story content over time. And that, I just want all the story content on the disc. Because what I want to be able to do is, like with an Assassin's Creed game that I've done in the past, like play the game, finish the game, know the story, done. I don't like the fact that sometimes there is DLC that releases that contains more story content that I should have in the base game, that I don't want to have to go and pay for to be able to play the next game. Just give me all the story.
I see what you mean by that, in terms of like setting up, like
if they're going
Mass Effect 2's Arrival DLC.
Yes,
that's a bad one. But like, I think for Assassin's Creed and even Spider-Man, they're just bonus content. Like you're just getting the next season of content.
Spider-Man is fine because again, it's bonus content. The story that happens in Spider-Man is self-contained and finished. So I'm probably not going to play those DLCs.
They're really good though. Like the first episode's really good.
I might get them later, but like I'm probably not going to now. Yeah. But like. It'll probably be a thing of like
when you get the Spider-Man itch, you'll
when I get the itch, I might go pick up a Game of the Year edition or something like that when they decide to do that and play through it all. But I want to be able to forget that DLC exists. I want to be able to play the game, forget the DLC exists, because I don't want to feel like I have to spend another $50 just to get what I wanted from the first part. And that's the problem with Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, 15 specifically, yes.
Is that I have to pay the $50 to get the thing that I should have gotten in the base game anyway.
That's a bad model. I will report back with the Assassin's Creed Story DLC because I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey complete package. I like the premises of the story expansion, but we'll see how that turns out. That could be either vital, better, or whatever.
Yeah, and we'll probably film up next week when we've all got Pokemon as well.
Sorry?
We'll probably be filming again when we've all got Pokemon, right?
Yeah. I don't know who else is getting it.
Nathaniel's getting it, I'm getting it, you'll be getting it, so we'll probably have a nice Amalgam show Pokemon themed.
Yeah. You're getting Eevee, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
I'm getting Eevee, I think Nathaniel was getting Pikachu.
Yeah. We'll see.
So you can pick whatever you want.
I've already picked Pikachu.
Yeah.
Oh, I did a poll on Facebook, just like, hey, who's getting which? And like everyone's getting Eevee.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I guess I better get Pikachu then.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be fun.
Pikachu and
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a good thing to have at this time of year. As I feel like it's going to be a nice, chill game to just play through.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, we better wrap this up.
Yeah.
How long have we gone for?
Quite a bit, I reckon.
Quite a bit.
An hour 40.
Okay, that's not bad. That's pretty good. Cool. Well, thank you for joining us. Check out all of our other content, because I'm not going to say Amalgam Show. There's no Amalgam Show this week. This will be it. But we will have one next week, probably.
Hopefully.
And most likely a Games Lab as well. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Amalgam Show, where you can listen to the Amalgam Archaeology series. If you have any questions for the show, please comment below or email us at amalgamshow@gmail.com. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.